With the 8th pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Collin Sexton from the University of Alabama.
G'day guys, Crazy back with our 30th and final NBA team preview, and our first one using the 2K19 engine for some footage. We're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers. It'll be a season of change for the Cavaliers. LeBron is gone, but there still remain some bright spots. There's some good young players here, and there's some veterans who'll get more touches and may have a bit more freedom without the king around. It's going to be an interesting season for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs had the 8th pick in the draft, and they took Collin Sexton, the 6'2" point guard out of Alabama. He's feisty, he's tenacious, he'll play with a lot of energy, he'll make a lot of meme teams, and he's going to be a lot of fun to watch, even with that JaVale McGee inspired rat's tail, which I don't think is a great look, but I think he's going to be a lot of fun this season. He's actually one of my sneaky picks who could get into the Rookie of the Year discussion. I think he gets minutes on this team, and I think he's just the player they need. 6'2" out of Alabama. He put up over 19 points a game in college, and he plays the game hard. And I think he's going to fit in very nicely on this Cavaliers team, and I think he'll be starting in no time. If he doesn't, they do have the reliable George Hill. I think George put up 10 points per game last year. He might actually thrive in the role this year without LeBron. He's a guy who actually get more touches. He can actually be a point guard. When you play with LeBron, your touches can go down, especially as a point guard. So it'll be interesting to see how George goes, because I didn't think he really fitted in that well last year. J.R. Smith, well, he's known now for that game one, the finals, the J.R. game. Who knows what he was thinking, but he can still hit some shots. He still plays hard. But J.R., I don't think he's ever going to live that down. Kyle Korver, he can still knock his threes down at 43%, still give you close to 10 points per game. He's another guy who vanished in the finals. The Warriors in the end were leaving him open. He just couldn't seem to knock down some shots. But he was very good in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. He seemed to have a very good series there, and looks like he's still got a few miles in the tank. He's always kept himself in great shape. Kevin Love, still making All-Star games, 17.5 points, nearly 9.5 rebounds. I'm interested to see how he goes this year without LeBron. Will he go back to his Minnesota ways and get a bit more post work? In the end, he was pretty much just being camped up in the corner to shoot threes and get some rebounds when he could. I think he has a much more prominent role in this year's offense, and I think it's going to suit him well. I can see him slipping into the early 20 points per game mark and getting them 10, 11 rebounds a game. He's still a good player, and I think they've given him the money, so they're expecting big things, and I think he can still deliver. Tristan Thompson, he'll play the centre position. He gives you some solid minutes. Hopefully he's not out there punching on with Draymond at nightclubs, but he'll still give you 6 points, 6.5 rebounds. He's another guy whose productivity may go up without LeBron, and I expect he can get a few more rebounds than that, and he plays pretty hard. Cedi Osman, he seems like the guy who's on the rise for this Cavaliers team. All Cavs fans seem to speak very highly of him. He's got some athleticism. He really seems to know how to play basketball, and I think he's one of those guys who could probably push for the most improved player in the league this year, just based on the fact he'll get more minutes. He was blocked, pretty much plays LeBron's position, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Larry Nance Jr., he had some moments for this team. He's a supreme athlete. That look on his face never seems to change. You wouldn't know if he was going well or having an absolute stink bomb of a game. But there's some talent there, and I think he's another guy who could flourish. Give him some minutes and see what he can do. Jordan Clarkson, he was pretty much breaking NBA records last year for his lack of assists. Jordan knows how to get his points, and that's about it. He can still score at a high volume, and this Cavs team could use his offensive firepower. But yeah, he might want to learn to pass just a little bit more. Come on, Jordan, just a couple of passes. Channing Frye has returned. This man loves Cleveland. Cleveland loves Channing. The return. He's taken his talents back to Cleveland. He's still solid. He can still knock down shots, and he's a rock-solid veteran presence. The rest of the roster, you've got big Ante Zizic backing up as a big man, Isaiah Tyler and David Nwaba. There's still some talent on this Cleveland Cavaliers team, and I think if you underestimate them, you could get taken for a ride. Ty Lue probably has his first real opportunity to be a head coach in the NBA. When LeBron's on your team, you're pretty much the assistant. LeBron calls the shots, and everybody knows it. So this might be his time to actually get his game plan in order and see what he can get out of some of these guys. See what he can get out of Kevin Love. See what he can use Tristan Thompson for. Can he develop Cedi Osman? Can Larry Nance Jr. put that athleticism to use? Can he make Shannon Frye just do anything other than shoot corner threes? And I think he could be a very good coach for Collin Sexton, and I think he'll allow him to flourish in that role in the point guard position. So where does that leave the 2018-19 Cavs? Expectations have obviously lowered now the King is gone, but I think people are expecting them to bottom out completely and be back in the lottery, and I just don't think that's the case. I think this team will surprise people. I think they're going to play hard. They've got some veterans. They've got a couple of young guys, Cedi Osman and Collin Sexton. I think they can help build the team around. I think you can see development out of Jordan Clarkson. I think you can get a little bit out of Larry Nance Jr. that we haven't seen. We've all seen the highlight dunks and think he could be anything. You've still got your veterans. You've got Korver, you've got J.R. Smith, Kevin Love, George Hill. They can bang threes with the best of them, and that's the way the NBA game is going. So I think they've actually got a roster that's not too badly designed to actually absorb the loss of LeBron. I see this team being competitive most nights. I don't see many teams blowing them away. I think Ty Lue will actually come back refreshed, ready to go. He can really put his imprint on this team. And I wouldn't be surprised if this team's battling it out for a playoff spot. I'd actually be reasonably surprised if they didn't make it. I think they're an above 500 team this year, if everything goes well. And they've got a couple of guys who might be interesting trade pieces for other teams, so this might not be the final version of this Cavs roster. I expect the Cavs to get over the 500 mark, push that 7th, 8th seed, and I think they play quite hard. If you take them lightly, I think they beat you. What do you guys think? What do you think the post-LeBron era holds for the Cleveland Cavaliers? What do you think they get up to in 2018-19? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks very much for watching the video, guys. If you like that one, maybe give it a thumbs up. Maybe even hit that subscribe button. That would be much appreciated. If you have any feedback or any comments, anything NBA related, feel free to pop it in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you very much for watching.